I'm thankful for Hayes volunteering to come to the summit and share about Solar City's commitment to a brighter future. And as many of you know, traveling here from the West Coast has its challenges, and I appreciate it's still not 9 a.m. your time, so this should feel good. So
right.
Please welcome Hayes officially.
All right, great.
So
thank you. Appreciate it. All right. I never know what you guys want out of this. Like, I'm always like, which direction do I go? So I'm going to give it my best shot. I think I know what you want. And Cynthia struck a chord with me on some things she touched on. So I'm gonna go for this, and you guys tell me if you like it at the end. So the first thing is, I think it's really important, just as people, like these big audacious goals. That stuck with me when Cynthia talked about it. So let me paint a picture of my life for you. I thought I was a pretty successful guy growing up. Worked in the Silicon Valley for 10 years at Oracle, did pretty well, went and started my own companies and grew those to about a $100 million business with like 1,500 employees. And then this guy showed up. He's my age, young guy. I'm still young. I'm only 42. And he says, come on, man, we got to partner together. We have to unite. We got to make it happen. I think we can really change the world. And so I asked myself, I said, okay, have I been lying to myself, or can I really change the world? Because I want to be successful. I want to change the world, and I want to work with really smart people. And he said, no, man, I really, really think we can change the world. And so here's this guy. So you've heard of Steve Jobs, right? Steve Jobs is a pretty successful guy. It's amazing what he did. Personal computing is pretty cool. He's got this new iPhone thing, if you guys haven't seen it, and it's changed a lot of things in the world. I think they're the most profitable company in the world or something along those lines. And then we talked about Sam Walton. I heard he was an Eagle Scout. I mean, that's amazing what he created, the largest big box retail company in the entire world. I think that's unbelievable what the Walton family did. Bill Gates was crazy with personal computing, and Larry Ellison, who I worked for 10 years, changed enterprise computing with the relational database and ERP and CRM systems. Then I met this guy, 42, and I'm like, okay, what are you going to do? And he says, well, I think I can solve the petroleum issue. I think I can solve global warming, and I think I can create life on Mars. And I'm like, man, you got to be out of your mind. I mean, there's no possible way one human being can do all those kind of things. And those are his big, audacious goals. So I said, okay, you know what? I need to step up. I need to have bigger, audacious goals. Let's make this happen. And so he bought my solar company a little over a year ago. And the deal was I'd come over and run sales and marketing with the made-up title over at Solar City. And his name's Elon Musk. You guys would know him. He founded PayPal, and he founded Tesla, and Solar City is our largest shareholder and chairman of the board, and also SpaceX. It's really cool when you take your kids to SpaceX and see how he can make 400-foot rockets at the same time. And so I think that, literally, I think we can change the world. I think we can power the planet in a completely different way. But I also think it has to do with the kids, which is why I'm here. So we get approached by a lot of organizations to say, hey, how do we partner with you guys? How do we get aligned more with Solar City and what you guys are doing? We want to disseminate the message. And I'm like, I'm not really interested in that. It doesn't make a lot of sense. But this Boy Scout thing, really, really makes sense. So part of the deal when Elon bought my business was, hey, you got to drive a Tesla, I'll give it to you. And I'm like, good, because I'd never buy a $140,000 car. And I'm not really a car guy, but boy, you get into the Tesla and you're like, this is the best car in the world, man. This car is amazing. So my kids are in the back of my Tesla. My son Luke, who's 8, says, Dad, it's so disgusting. And I said, what, man? What's so disgusting? He said, exhaust pipes. These people that drive around in these cars are so irresponsible. I can't believe. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm back to the back seat where my mom's smoking cigarettes right now, man. Are you kidding me right now? He goes, no, it's disgusting what your generation is doing to the planet, driving around with these exhaust pipes. I will never, and mark my words, Dad, never drive a gas-powered car. And I'm like, okay, I hear you loud and clear, man. All right, sounds good. And I think he's right. I don't think he'll ever drive a gas-powered car. I know it sounds crazy, but I don't think he will. And so there's this movement that's taking place on this planet, and I feel like I'm fortunate enough to be a part of it and here to talk with you guys about it. And so I'm going to try to convince you by the end that you should be a part of it too, and we can all really, really change things. So kids, man, they're powerful. And a lot of them reach out to me. This is how I know it's the answer. They write me these letters. 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds, kids in college. When I graduate from college, I want to come work for Solar City. I know we can power the planet in a better way than we're powering the planet right now. And they do this research. Like, these kids know these amazing things that I never knew 3 or 4 years ago. They'll tell me, they'll say, did you know, Hayes, that utilities are the largest polluters of water? And I'm like, no, I had no idea that utilities were the largest polluters. Yes, they are. Utilities pollute water more than any other country. Hayes, did you know that, this is one that blew my mind, that like whenever I had the water running in my house, and still to this day, my wife says, Hayes, you got to turn off the water, honey, like get in the shower, or don't leave that faucet running, or turn that hose off. Did you know that your home consumes more water consumption through the electricity in your home than water consumption itself? Like, that one blew my mind. I'm like, okay, so wait a minute. You're telling me with my lights on, I'm using more water than I am showering and watering my lawn, and yeah, that's what it is. Utilities are the largest consumers of water in the world, only second to agriculture. That's it. And I'm like, okay, wow, so this utility company is the largest polluter of water, and they're the second largest consumer of water in the entire world. And I live in California, where I can't water my lawn right now because the sheriff drives by, and if you're watering your lawn between certain hours, then you get a fine, because we're in such a massive drought in California right now. And I'm like, okay, this is, so to me, when Cynthia says, like, I haven't even talked about the planet yet, but if she says, hey, we're going to protect the people, I'm like, I like to drink water, it tastes pretty good, and I like to breathe clean air. So that sounds pretty good. So here's what's pretty interesting. If you look at the solar business in general, and this is why I decided to jump into it, you actually produce more jobs per kW of energy created, or per megawatt of energy created, whatever metric you're going to look at, than any other company. So if you look at our business right now, and I'm really proud of it, in a very short period of time, we've grown to 7,500 employees. We're hiring 500 people a month right now inside of our company. It's really hard to hire 500 people a month. These people drive me crazy, coming on board. But we're scaling that quickly. We'll be nearly 10,000 employees by the end of the year, and I think we can become the largest energy company in the history of the world. And I'll talk to you guys about that here in just a minute. What I want to do just for a moment is, there's this one kid, and this kid's powerful. I have a video of him, so I got to show it to you guys. So out of all the people that reached out, this one kid's like really, really special kid. He read all the Harry Potter books before he was 2 years old. Now wrap your head around that. You're like, come on, man. My 4-year-old can't read all the Harry Potter books. He read them all by the time he was 2. And he writes me these letters, and I was convinced. I'm like, this is his father writing me these letters. I even Googled his father on the internet, and his father's the guy who invented the jawbone. You guys know that jawbone? Yeah, and I'm like, okay, yeah, it's definitely his dad. So I said, why don't you come in and meet with me? I'll meet with you, because these beautiful letters he's writing me. And he comes in, he's a 10-year-old kid, and he's so articulate, and I'm like, wow, man, you're crazy. And they're like, yeah, Hayes, next year he graduates from college. I'm like, from college, like 4-year degree college? Yep, here in the Silicon Valley, he graduates, and I'm like, well, what are you going to do after that, man? I don't think I've ever met like a real full-blown genius. He goes, I'm going to come work with you. Like, we're going to change the world, man. I heard about your foundation. I've heard about these different things. And so I'm like, I got to get you on video. I got to get you on video at 10 years old, because I didn't get him on video until he was 11. He turned 11 like 3 weeks later. But here's a quick video. And I think it'll just open your eyes to like this insanely gifted, really smart young man, and his insights for the planet. And I think it aligns with us and the Boy Scouts. When I hear you guys, like, I love the environment. The environment or the classroom is the outdoors for us. Like, we got to protect this thing. I think it's really important. And so hopefully you guys can get behind it. Can you play that quick video of my friend Shrevis? Thank you.
Hello, I'm Shrevis Nalan. I'm 11 years old, and I'm an avid environmentalist. I've taken 3 courses on the subject during my 2-year tenure at Foothill College in Los Altos, California. I love nature. It's just wonderful to me to see all the scenery when you're out and about in the great outdoors. I worry that this might not be around in future generations. It is important to me to keep this earth clean. I started thinking about the clean energy that nature could provide and decided that energy from the sun was the most accessible to the general public. I wanted to find out whether the energy from the sun can meet our current energy demands. To find that out, I had to look inside the sun at the nuclear fission reactions and basic stoichiometry going on inside the star. I figured out how many photons the sun gave out every year, used percentages and geometric figures to get me how much of that energy was going to the Earth, and fixed my values for our oceans, greenhouse gases, and our solar panels efficiency. We finally came up with 110 quadrillion kilowatt hours, which can be produced from sun energy every single year. This is about 1 million times our solar energy demand. Solar energy certainly is powerful. Even if we use 1/millionth of 1% of all of the energy the sun gives us, we can still meet our energy demands. However, we aren't even using 1/billionth of 1%. The only way to solve our energy dilemma is to ramp up our solar energy production. And the only way to do this is to implement solar power on a global scale. The answer is the sun.
The answer is the sun. So you get into this business and you realize, oh boy, what have I got myself into? And here's why. I'll just be really candid with you guys. The government has a real difficult time supporting this. And the answer is simple. Oil and gas have placed almost all these politicians and over the last 100+ years. It's the industry that is the most profitable, most successful industry in the history of mankind. So you start messing around with energy and the way this planet's going to be powered, and you get a lot of really interesting articles written about you in Money Magazine, Fortune Magazine, you name the magazine. And it takes a really brave man like Elon and his cousin Lyndon to step up and say, you know what, we're willing to take the brunt of that. There's a better way to power the planet, and here's what we're going to do. And so here's the company that we've created, just to give you kind of a high-level overview. So basically, the industry didn't exist at the residential homeowner level because the utility companies had fought it. It's really simple math, right? If you pay a utility company $250 a month in your utility bill, and all of a sudden you're only paying them $100 a month or $50 a month on your utility bill, the utility company's not happy anymore, right? It's pretty simple. So they've got a lot of money and a lot of resources, and they're going to do everything in their power to scare people to not make that leap or that shift. Well, the good news is by educating, by allowing people to do their due diligence, we've now helped over 100,000 families and homes go solar. Today, on a monthly basis, it's about 9,000 to 10,000 homes. Next year, we'll do about 160,000 to 170,000 homes, just alone on the residential side of the business. That brings us to, today, to be precise, we have about a 36.4% market share nationwide, so more than 1 in every 3 solar systems throughout the United States of America are one of ours. And by the end of this quarter, we'll have a little over 40% market share, hopefully 50% by the end of the year. So meaning 1 in every other solar system in the country will be a solar system that we put on a home. At the same time, we're doing a significant amount of the military bases. So Army facilities, many military facilities throughout the entire U.S. we're doing at a multi-thousand unit scale on an annual basis. In addition to that, large corporations, many of these corporations we're doing, such as Walmart, such as all the big box retailers that you guys are very familiar with, have jumped on board and said, look, we just want to pay less for electricity. So the myth in the industry, and I don't know where you live in the country. If you live in California like I do, you know there's been a lot of education around this. But in other parts of the country, it was always, well, hey, what's the ROI? What's my payback? You know, John and I were talking about that at breakfast this morning, and people thought, oh, it's 7 or 8 years before I break even. I've got to write a check for $20,000 or $30,000 to go solar. It's absolutely not true at all. 90% of our customers, they choose a zero down option. They pay nothing out of pocket at all to go solar. They literally just pay less for electricity on their very first month for their bill. And that was a shock. So immediately your knee jerk right now is, okay, wait a minute, you're trying to sell me something. What's the catch? That sounds too good to be true. That's the knee jerk of every single human. And then once you kind of get educated, you're like, wow, so literally you put these panels on my roof. I don't pay anything out of pocket up front. You charge me just less for power. Yeah, so in California, if you pay your utility company 21 cents per kilowatt hour, you're going to pay Solar City 15 cents per kilowatt hour. It's that simple. And the system on your roof is under a purchase power agreement, and you lock the cost of that energy in some cases for 20 years. In other cases, you can choose an option where it slowly increases. So it's really great for seniors in the event that they have the ability to have predictable energy costs. If I told you guys, hey, what if you could lock the cost of energy in, you know, back in the 1930s or 40s, it'd be pretty good if you could pay per gallon and you can kind of take control of your energy. In the future, and where we're going is, because of our partnership with Tesla, is soon many, many homes will have a battery on the side of the home as well. So I know it sounds a little crazy right now, but that's why we're building our manufacturing facility for batteries in Reno, Nevada. It'll be the largest battery manufacturing facility in the world. And that's why we're building the largest solar manufacturing facility in Buffalo, New York. It's about a 1 million square foot facility we just broke ground on. So the company in general is super focused on manufacturing product here in the United States of America, making the best battery technology, storage technology, and the best panel technology. So the most aesthetic, beautiful panel you can find, and the most high efficient panel. And for homeowners, you know, fundamentally all they really care about, most of them is, hey, does it save me money? The green thing, that sounds pretty good. I want to have environmental stewardship, but really I'm sick of paying my utility company so much money for my electric bill. I'd like to pay about 30% less. And that's what about 75–80% of the customers that we do business with say. And then there's people like us that say, hey, you know what? No, this is important. I want to make the move for other reasons as well. But unfortunately, that's not the majority at this point in time. So other things that I wanted to communicate to you guys. Culturally, I think there's a really good fit here with the Boy Scouts. This is kind of my sales pitch on why I want to work with you guys so much. And the good news is you guys are kind of giving it back to me, which I appreciate and I'm super grateful for. I'm really honored to be here. Is like this values. In general, there's a group of people that have gotten together, and for us, it's 7,500 employees at Solar City. Like I said, soon to be 10,000 by the end of the year. And our values and our why is, we believe in a better way to power this planet. We're going to do anything in our power to make sure other people get educated and can just do their own due diligence and make a good, educated decision. That's from really strong people and professionals in corporate America that are running large corporations, all the way to, you know, Bob the builder who owns a home with his family and just wants to pay less on his utility bill. And so what's interesting is, you know, with this with our value set and who we are as an organization, we're doing a lot of interesting things, I think, that would allow the Boy Scouts to get more involved with what we're doing. One thing I wanted to touch on was, and I think you guys will like it, I want to share this other video with you very quickly, is for every megawatt of energy we're putting here in the United States residentially, we've decided to power a school in a third world country. So it's called Give Power. It's a really cool foundation, and I think the Boy Scouts could get involved with it. And what we do is we send kids or we send other people to Haiti, Malawi, Nicaragua, Mali, Africa, kind of all over. And we'll do 400 schools this year in our very first year. So super young company. Company's only been around for 8 years, but this year we'll put solar on 400 schools throughout the world. Next year it'll be right around 1,000 schools throughout the world. And so as I look at this, like my dream and vision is to create a group of materials for the Boy Scouts to go out and educate around their sustainability badge. I think there's just an opportunity for them to lead and educate homeowners and others about what solar can do for them, how it works on their home, why it's a better way to power their home. And we did a pilot with Scott. This gentleman, he reached out to us and said, hey, we want to work with Solar City, what do we do? And it was fantastic. We took 3 scouts, we put them in front of a grocery store with an electric car, and you can see it on Scott's desk over there, and they were just playing with the electric car and educating people on solar, and people came over and said, hey, I want to learn more. We did a survey of over 2,000 homeowners, random survey, and 75% of them said, yeah, we want to learn. We just want to get educated, we want to learn more about solar. And of those 12 families that came over in a 2-hour window, 4 of those families ended up deciding to go solar on top of their home. We were just like, wow, this could be way better than popcorn. Like literally, like I think that you guys have an army of really smart young people waiting on a really intense mission that you could get out there and tell a super powerful story. And to me, I'm like, hey, I love popcorn sales. I'm not trying to take popcorn sales away from anyone. And I think it's a great revenue generator for you guys around the holiday season. But there's a way that we could do so much more together in getting a strong message out there, and the Boy Scouts could really participate in this movement and the message that's being portrayed out there throughout the country. So I wanted to play a quick video, if you guys would do it for me, for our Give Power Foundation. I just wanted to show you guys the first inaugural school we did in January of this year. This is a school in Nicaragua.
A big challenge that the community has is the kids get taught during the day, and in the evening, the parents don't get any education because they work during the day, so they can't learn as there's no light in the school.
If you can bring electricity to rural areas, people who were once isolated are less so. And I think if we do this right and do this well, I think we can do it over and over and over again and really have a big impact on a lot of people.
We can skip the legacy infrastructure and build out the new infrastructure the smarter, better way. So our mission now is to bring light to this community.
I think the dream is to create a culture within a company that is all about growing and giving. At Solar City, we'll grow our business by over 100% annually in an effort to really bring alternative forms of energy to the rest of the country. And if we can find a way internally to create a culture that is about growing and giving, we're like, yes, we're growing the business, yes, we're bringing this technology to different parts of the United States, but then how do we create that giving aspect as well? I think that's really powerful.
So if you think about it, we were talking about kind of ages or things that happened, and let's think about a few of them right now. You had the industrial age, you had the automotive age, you had the information age. That was a big one. I went through that one in the 80s and 90s of the Silicon Valley. And there's another age that's upon us. Some great author or journalist will talk about it someday. And it's like the clean tech or green age. It's literally right upon us right now. I can see it crystal clear. You can see the venture capital dollars. You can see the investment people are making into these businesses. And so when you think about your kids or you think about your professional career moving forward for some of the younger guys in the room, really think about this space. Like, this is the biggest entrepreneurial / business opportunity, I believe, for the next 20 years. There's no doubt in my mind about it. The way this planet is powered has been a bad way to power the planet for the last couple hundred years. We've gotten a lot smarter, and technology has ramped up. Cost structures have dropped through the floor, and we have a lower cost, more clean, efficient way to power the planet than what we've done in the past. And so I encourage you guys with your children or with your friends, if they're looking at career opportunities, like really kind of open your eyes a little bit. Don't be so skeptical and look at what's taking place right now. I can remember calling my friends back in Missouri when I was in the Silicon Valley and going, hey man, I'll send you guys an email. And they say, oh yeah, sure. Why don't you send me an email, you know, and or get on the internet, right? And I said, guys, that's going to be one day like you're telling me to pick up the phone and give you guys a call. And so, and I know like I'm the California guy from the Silicon Valley who's talking about solar and like, does that stuff works? And are we really going to have it on my home? Oh yeah, you're going to have it on your home someday. And you're going to have a battery on the side of your house. And you're going to have a tablet in your hand because all of our customers can see exactly what their usage is through Power Guide, real time, all the time. Like think about that right now. Most of you are totally blind. You have no idea how much electricity your home is using right now. No idea. You never have. You're not going to go out there and look at the meter. You just get a bill, you pay it. You don't understand what the bill even says or how you're billed for it. And so, you know, now with customers, when they go with Solar City, they can see on their phone, on their tablet, real time, not just what their solar is producing for them. Of course it does that, but it shows them also what their consumption is. They're educated. And that knowledge is power. They can say, wow, I didn't know when we cranked the air conditioning up from this window to this one, we use that much. Wow, I didn't know. And what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to tell that battery on the side of your house, I don't want to pay 37 cents for electricity between 2 and 4 p.m. You didn't even know you paid 37 cents for electricity between 2 and 4 p.m., but you will because you'll get educated and you'll get more responsible. You'll start talking about things like environmental stewardship. And so this mindset and methodology of educating, like I need educators. I need people that are hungry and tenacious and want to go out and tell a story and be a part of a movement that I think is going to be one of the most important movements in the history of mankind. So all I want you to do in the end is just believe in a better way and open your eyes to learning more a little bit about solar energy and some other things that you guys can do to reduce your energy footprint in your homes. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
That's great, Hayes. Thank you. The pilot that he mentioned that Scott worked on, we're actually expanding the pilot there in California. There are 14 states that we've targeted for this program. As a scout professional, the one thing that I was really most impressed by was the response of every one of those families who asked the young Cub Scouts, why are you doing this? And it gave an opportunity for a Cub Scout to explain about their love for the environment, about learning about the environment and caring for the environment and sustainability. And that type of brand awareness about who we are as a scouting movement is critical and important. And the fact that the scout unit made a great amount of money in a short period of time was also nice without inventory. So thank you, Hayes, for that, and thank you for the leadership of Solar City for partnering with us and standing up and realizing that there are many ways that we can align together and working on this next generation of kids. I will tell you, your son, kid, how do you pronounce his name? Shrevis. I know he's just graduated from college at 11. If he's looking for a job, I mean, we can always have a sustainability director here. No, but the sustainability director for the Boy Scouts of America is a very attractive position. And the pay is perfect for an 11-year-old.